Hey, Mike. We'll get started shortly here. Get another Go Habs Go. I like it. I like it. We'll get started in like a few minutes. I just gotta as you know, get some of the stuff ready. We're gonna be live blogging as well on the MontrealGazette.com. We're gonna have all the scores and updates and all that stuff. So if you want to go check that out, you are more than welcome to. Uh, Background is back. Uh, what happened in the background? Do you remember if you guys were here last game? Lots of tech. There were lots of tech issues, and I lost my precious background, but my precious background is back. As you can see, we're a different hat tonight. We've been switching up the hats every game. When they lose, if they win, we keep the hat. But obviously they lost, so no hat, new hat. But we're running out of hats now. These are my 2015 band hats. That's how deep in the hats we are at this point. I think that I have a couple of decent hats though that I haven't worn yet. We also got some candy tonight. Gonna need a little extra energy boost, so I'm gonna get some candy here. And if anybody asks, we are recording Hockey Inside Out tomorrow. Indeed, we are. Hey there, Robert. It is indeed a must win. Can't go down 3-1. Carolina's too good. They got to hang. Sorry, I know I've been super boring eating candy. I'm just getting some stuff set up on the Gazette website, MontrealGazette.com, as you know. Um, Robert says, I can't believe we lost two OT games. We need more shots on goal. A couple more shots on goal probably could have been the difference here. I mean, the Habs very much could have won last game. Dobson had scored. Offside by this much. That was the difference between winning and losing. So a couple more shots on goal could really make the difference. Our shots are anemic. 25 in the last two games. Rush the net and move. Yup. I'm not feeling too good. Karen, I woke up this morning feeling kind of good, actually. I was kind of like, there's a few adjustments they need to make, but I think they can make them. One adjustment that I would love is Jaden Struble to not play with Lane Hudson. I have said it all year. I think Lane Hudson plays his worst hockey when he's paired with Jaden Struble. And this series, to me, has very much shown it. I wish still the same crappy pairings, unfortunately. I think it's a huge mistake. But I guess it's too late to change. I don't know. But yeah, Struble in the future, Struble is not the man for Hudson. I think we can all recognize that. But that's who we're getting tonight. Same lines as always. I like that we're just recognizing that the Deneau line is the second line, really, at this point. Foligno's back in. No Arbor, no Galley. Arbor, I thought maybe had a chance tonight. Gallagher's not gonna. But the defense is the problem is that they're fundamentally missing a no Jack Ishii. It's Struble tonight. I just feel like I don't know. The defense is not set up, if you know what I mean. Like, no, the people aren't in their right places, in my opinion. And we're starting to see we're starting to see that, perhaps even more than okay, great. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, you guys are not happy about Jack Eye. I think Marty's going with the horses that brought him here, I guess. Um, Can we score the first goal for F Steak? I know, right? Your son's feeling good. I'm feeling good too. I don't know. I woke up today being like, they're not that far off. They're really not. Marty's a dork when it comes to Jack Eye and Galley. I love being a Habs fan, but these close games suck. Hello, Kelly. Tall order tonight. Must win or 99% chance season end in game 5. That is about how I see it as well. Tonight's the night, baby. Tonight's the night. Galley is done. I agree. I don't know what's going to happen next season, but I'd be really shocked if we see him again. You know what? If for whatever reason they get him and they face Vegas, he might factor into that one. These lines have produced 25 shots in the last 2 games. I'm really shocked. I'm shocked that he kept the defense together. I just feel like at this point you need to play Hudson and Dobson like 30 minutes because it's the only way you're going to kickstart the offense. This is where the offense starts, on the back end. Kelly says 4-2 with an empty net goal. I like it. I like it. I think the Habs will win tonight. I don't know why. I'm not saying they'll win the series, but I think they'll win tonight. We shall see. I like the secret weapon. Patrick Laine. Hey, if you need shots on goal, That's a guy who can get some shots on goal. He does one thing. He does one thing in his life. I shoot the puck. But brings me to the all-important question tonight. How can the Habs get more shots? How can they do it? Easy for us to say, get more shots on goal. What do you think's the way? Because the games that I've been watching, the last two games, Carolina has not made it easy on the Habs. The Habs have a tough time getting the puck through. That being said, they do pass a lot, and Carolina pressures them a lot. So how can the Habs get more shots? You tell me. Laine has as much of a chance of being in the lineup as I do. That is fair, Mark. Laine is going to be in the lineup, I don't know. They'd have to get like 5 guys that have to get hurt in one game, I think. And even then, they'd still put the Black Aces in over Laine. Pinfash says, I've mortgaged my house and I've cashed out my pension plan. You're putting everything you got on the Canes getting the first goal early in the game. You can't lose. Eat your words. They've done it all series, but the day you bet on it is the day that the opposite will ring true, but it's very true. So far, Carolina has had a lot of luck scoring the first goal. Kelly says, more shots. Get through neutral zone with possession. Habs are spending no time in the Canes zone. Joseph says, morning, everyone. It's a must win. I feel like the Habs are going to come out heavy, and I'm just super nervous about it. Not easy, but dump and chase is not working. It certainly is not. Pim says, getting more shots. Stop circling back in your own zone or standing behind the net for 3 hours just letting the Canes dictate the forecheck all game. I think so. You really got to be aggressive and force those turnovers and then shoot quickly. The Canadiens had the speed. They're letting Carolina lull them into this very stationary game where they can't. They're not moving the way that the Canes can move. They're moving like they're in quicksand right now. They need not be. Change the lines. You might get more shots. I think if the Canadiens get off to a slow start, they're going to change the lines. I think that today's the day that Marty won't tolerate the same old, same old. I mean, it has to be. Has to be. Another wild idea. How about your own forecheck? Too tentative, moving through neutral zone with no speed, making long dump-ins with no hope of retrieval. Yeah. You have to go back to their game. Quick transition. Shots off the rush. Do it fast. Don't try to set up so long in the neutral zone. Be aggressive. Get the quick shot. Try to get something going. More shots, anyone? This is to me, it's pure arithmetic. They will not be able to win these games if they don't put more than 20 shots on Anderson. You need to put 20 shots on Anderson to give yourself a shot to win. I think it really he's the kind of goalie that you want to test him, you want to put chance, and they haven't done it yet. Doing this feature on Jordan Staal. Blah, blah. Howdy, Bob. I really thought Galley might be in the lineup because there's a possibility this is the last home game. He deserves to be on the ice. No, what do they call it? Sentimentality in the playoffs, I'm afraid, Bob. They are going to ice their best lineup, and there's no no leeway in that. Gretzky and Bissonnette. Probably better than whoever. This is, man, CBC is absolutely, or Sportsnet has absolutely just given up on these playoffs. They are C Crew, really limited show, not a lot going on. So bummed we looked lost on transition. It's just their entire game. This entire team is built to be good in transition. Aggressive in our zone, steal the puck, go up the ice in 2 seconds. Like, that has been the plan all year. And, like, suddenly they're just, like, not doing it and, like, seem unable to do it. I had an epiphany the other game, and now I'm just proud of how far this team has come since the start of the year. If you had told me that we were 3 wins away from a cup final, I wouldn't have believed it. Yeah, that's kind of the thing that I would say to everyone. Once we get to like October again, or September, I'll say, and we're all full of optimism about the new season and the next season and everything that happened in the off season, we're gonna look back on this playoff as like amazing and fun, right? Like the way that we look back on the 2021 final is like a lot of fun. I don't think we look at the 2021 final and think, ugh, they got dominated by Tampa. What a horrible waste of my time. You know what I mean? Like not how you think about it in hindsight, but certainly in the moment they're being dominated by Carolina, and it's really annoying to watch in the moment. Crazy thought, moved to meet off to the first line and moved Slav to the second line with New Hook and Kapanen in for Veleno. They never did it during the reason why they're not going to do it is I assume because they never did it in the regular season, but I think they should do it because Demidov has looked pretty good and Slavkovsky definitely does not look good, and that to me just seems like a really easy solution. But I think a lot of that has to do with the defensive side of the game, where I think they still trust Slavkovsky a lot and they don't trust Demidov. They need to shorten their passes and increase puck possession time. Shortening the passes, man. Shimmis, you are reminding me of something from the last game that we forgot to talk about. Is how many damn times they iced the puck. So many long passes missed. Those quick transition passes, they were off all game. It was terrible. Big part of their game lost. So I think if they can't make those long passes, they will have to get back to the short passes and skate more. Can Slavkovsky please show up? Hasn't happened yet. Only 2 games. He's been dominant, and they won those games handily, and then it hasn't really happened otherwise. Vegas looks so good, big, heavy. Score was not close to indicate the way the game went. I know it's Vegas is. Probably going to win it all. I think pretty clear. Carolina could probably. I don't know. They might be able. Never Montreal could take them, but I don't know. Vegas looks really good. Go Habs, go! Hey Phil, let's hope for some shots. Hello, Michael. Good evening, Habs fans. Go Habs, go! I love this team and it's exciting season. Karen says, "Yeah, I think that's how we'll feel in the end." Torts has done an amazing job in Vegas. Somebody else got them about 90% of the way there, and then Torts did the last little special sauce on there to make them good. Yep, the boys should feel that way too. Play loosey-goosey, maybe better things will happen. Cycle more with short, crisp passes. Marty does not do much mixing of his lines during a game. He doesn't. He did it once against Tampa and really threw John Cooper for a loop. I believe that was game 5, wasn't it? Am I crazy? Is that how I remember it? He said he doesn't say anything. Just stands by the side, let it happen. Oh, yeah. Vegas, 3 cup finals in 9 years. Leafs, 0 cup finals in 59 years. Vegas has... they're an aggressive team. They go for it every year. They give their fans a lot to talk about. That luck might run out one day, but I don't think it's gonna run out any soon. Also helps that guys really want to go play there. I mean, it's hard to get like Marner and the Marners and Eichels of the world, but I mean, Vegas got what they want. Habs win it all. Come on. Who carries the torch tonight? Good question. Can we be positive tonight? Because I'm really down, Karen said. We will try. We will try. Michael said they need to shoot the puck. Stop bringing it back and go forward. Hey, Max. Max says it's a must-win game. If we go down 3-1, they can book their vacations. I hope to see more engagement tonight, more physicality. Wasn't sure if I could handle the game tonight, Karen says, but you're here. We need you here. Thank you so much, Karen, for joining. I think we have the speed and it looks like we have the goaltending, but we're still a little small and a little soft, Bob says. Hugo needs to work on building us for the playoffs. Robert smells burnt toast. Are you having brain surgery right now, Robert? Did you ever watch the Wilder Penfield thing about the burnt toast? The refs aren't calling anything. You play Jack Eye. I would have put Jack Eye tonight. Did you shave to break the 2-game skid? You know what? My wife asked me if she thought that anyone would notice that I shaved, and I said no. I said people might look at the hat, which is a different hat tonight, but I said I didn't think people were going to think that I shaved. They wouldn't notice, but no, you noticed, and yes, I did shave. Exactly for that reason. I was first of all, I hated it, and I was like, "Damn it!" But the Habs are winning, so I can't shave. But then I figured I had an excuse to do it for this game. I don't usually like having much scruff, so yes, I did shave and change hat. Chris Chelios would be fun. Yeah, you guys are up with the Wilder Penfield story. I look even younger. Thank you. I'll take that compliment. No excuse to shave a playoff beard. I look horrendous. I had to do it. Chris Chelios. That's who I would love to see. Montreal Canadiens will never win this year. Is an interesting statement. They might not win this year, but they may win other years. Dobish and Ivan will be getting a big bag facts. Oh my God. Can you imagine negotiating across from Dobesh's agent after this playoff? Good evening, gang. Hey, Kelly Winger. Let's see. Empty the tank. Nothing left after tonight. Yeah, man. This is time. Yeah, I can't believe Bob Gainey hasn't done it yet. Hey, Mark. Hoping for a win. I'd give almost anything. I just don't feel any confidence. They've outplayed us in every facet of the game so far. Hey, the Habs still won game one. And we're a couple bounces, even though they didn't play that great, of winning game 2 or 3. I woke up this morning feeling like the gulf between these two is not that deep or wide. I do think Carolina's a better team. I'm not doubting that. But I do think the Canadiens do have a shot tonight. I'm feeling better about it. Bring out Sergei Berezin. I like it. Good reference. Chelios would be fun. Chelios was in town for the race. Yeah, he wasn't race. If the Habs don't have enough inspiration from that crowd, then there's no one who can inspire them. Like, they always talk about playing for the best fans in the world. Well, now it's time to win in front of the best fans in the world, right? Am I crazy? Like, they can't have it both ways. They can't talk about how we're like the greatest fans in the world and what a special place to play and oh my God, what a moment. And then like play like crap at home. They're 2-5 at home. Come on, win a game. Win a game at home. Whoa! Halak! That's so cool. This is so cool. Yaroslav Halak. It's a bizarre choice. It's such a good choice. I'm ready for the non-cup winning Habs that brought so much joy to this city coming in here. Should be why. Not all of them want to do it. He was a working man who didn't get, a gig here. He might not want to be here. He might have wanted the St. Louis job and might not be super happy for all we know. Halak doesn't deserve to be, should be a legend. I don't know. I love it. I'm loving this. I thought it was only cup winners. They clearly, like me, who shaved before this game, they decided we're gonna do things a little differently tonight. I love it. I I know I know some of you I know some of y'all aren't feeling it, but I don't know. Exactly. It's like a shocker. That's kind of like Claude Lemieux, Chris Nyland. I feel like that was the whole thing. I think it's so much fun. Like they're gonna run out of cup winners eventually. You know what I mean? Like they're just gonna have to. Odd they would have Halak before Hua. I would imagine they don't have Hua because of Hua. You know what I mean? Like it's not everybody wants to do this. I think that's like some see it as a real honor, and I think some are just like, I got other things to do. You don't know we don't know who they asked or didn't ask. It's not like sometimes you guys are like, oh, why don't the Canadiens just sign Connor McDavid? Well, maybe he doesn't want to be here. You know what I mean? Like I would think with Patrick Waugh it's possible. Did Halak ever win the cup with anybody? He did not. I was curious if he ever won a cup. He never won a cup. Season's on the line. Hope the boys have enough gas in the tank to be competitive. It's all for tonight. Waugh still in a contract with Islanders. That he is. I don't think they would have stopped him from coming here, but we just don't know where everybody stands with the alumni right now. You know what I mean? Maybe they also wanted to try some new people. Nyland was like a pretty unique. Nyland certainly didn't expect it. Claude hasn't been super involved in a lot of alumni stuff, so I think they were trying to keep people guessing. I really think that this team is trying their best. The Canes are an insane team. I think so too. I think the Canadiens have just reached the limits of like what this current Habs team can do. That's not to say that they can't win the series and like somehow pull it out, but they're now taking on a team that is better than them. Tampa and Buffalo, I think they took on teams that were like pretty much at their level or close to it. And I think now they're facing a team that is just better than them. And there's no shame in that. There's no harm in that. It's just life. And if they win, it's this time, if they win, it's going to be a crazy upset like this series. If they can pull out this series, it'll be a monumental upset the way that I don't think the other ones were. It can still happen. I'm still rooting for it. I don't think they're trying their best at all. What do you think? They just like are. No, they're definitely, I think, trying their best. I just think they just don't know how to beat Carolina. Carolina is not better. I think they are. After watching the last two games, they're playing that same stifling style that completely shut down in Ottawa. That completely shut down Ottawa and Philly. And I'm like, I think they've got their system down. I think they're really good. Make us look like amateurs. I mean, they did get two games into overtime. I think the gap is narrower than we think. I think the gap is narrower than we think. But we swept them this season and last season. I don't buy that. Playoffs are different. The cream rises, I think, a little bit in the playoffs in a way that doesn't in the regular season. You guys really don't think Carolina is better? All right, fair. I do, but if you guys don't, the Habs aren't showing up. We'll see. They're gonna have to find another gear to win tonight. Marty has been out coached. I can see that. I think that I think Marty hasn't been adjusting enough. He's not like a big adjuster in general, but I think he could stand to adjust a little more. Karen says we beat them 6-2 and they can only manage two OTs. That's why I think they're narrower. The teams are narrower than I think. But I do still think Carolina is like a pretty. Carolina's a dirty team, but Arbor will again eat hot dogs tonight. I'm really this decision. I think might come back to. I hope it doesn't come back to haunt the Habs. I really am like. I wanted to see Arbor in there. Again, for honestly, mainly for the reason that I've said it all season, and I'll say it again tonight. Lane Hudson plays his worst hockey when he's paired with Struble. Struble is not good enough to play. Is not good enough to play with Hudson. Period. Point final on that one. Anyways, off we go. No more stretch passes. I know. So many icings last game. It was very annoying. Survive the first turnover. Things are looking up. 10 seconds for the first turnover. Arbor is underappreciated. Game on, Karen says. That's all on Marty's shoulder. Yes, putting Struble on is very much a Marty decision that he should not be doing. Canes just throw it at the net. Habs need to do the same. Like, honestly, it's so ridiculous that they don't. It's so exhausting to see them trying to find the perfect shot in the zone. Canes are already at 25% of our game 3 shot total. Take a shot right now. Ugh. Their fourth line has been better than our first. That fourth line's been so good. Eric Robinson's been really good. And Jankowski, our Stansted College fave. And again, Habs not shooting. Take a shot. Please take a shot. No? Okay. Go in the corner and turn it over. Fantastic. Arguably, their four lines have been better than our four lines. I mean, I don't know if I would even argue that. I think that's pretty much true. That's pretty much true. I mean, when you put up 12 shots a game or so, and a surprising amount of those come from your defense, I don't think that's totally far off. Yeah, shot count already. Quick going for the perfect pass, shoot it, and then drive the net. It's like so bonkers that they don't do it. So bonkers. What a stop by Dobesh on Jackson Blake. Unreal. Nice hard hits by Canes. You see that, Marty? Here we go again, giving away. It's all Carolina so far. More poor turnovers. Without Dobesh, we're playing golf a month ago. We aren't hitting, we aren't skating, we aren't shooting. Once again, the Canadiens with just another flat opening to the game. This is three failed attempts to clear the zone on that shift alone. What a sad sack intro. The Canes are just so much better. Sorry, guys, you're blind if you don't see that. I agree. Mark, I'm totally in agreement with you, Mark. I'm really shocked that you guys are like, no, the Canes are better. They're just not playing well. They're not trying hard. Like I don't think that's the case at all. I think the Canadiens have hit a wall here of a very good team, and they don't really have a solution to beating them. But we shall see. They're not better. They're playing better, and they're better coached. I mean, I think the Canadiens has more. The Canadiens have more young talent that will, once they've all reached their potential, will be better than the Hurricanes. The Canes are just loaded with talent, but I don't think it's all like all there yet. Our guys are just sleepwalking. Try and relax. Let them settle in. Lots of hockey to be played tonight. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Anything can happen. Habs today and another exam tomorrow. Good luck with your exam. I hope you're able to concentrate and study. Pimfash says that Carolina dominating on the forecheck. They get a breakaway because we lose the puck, even though we're 5-on-4 in their zone. Carolina is not better. They just work harder. I do think they're better though. Mental mistakes inside their blue line. Is golf really the fallback sport for hockey players, not triathlons? Golf is the fallback sport because they can drink and have a good time while they golf. They don't want to do more sports off season. They want to do fun, leisurely activities. You'll ace your exam. I like. Habs are gonna win. You're gonna ace your exam. That's what's happening tonight. Despite this start, I still have a good feeling about the Canadiens tonight. Despite the how many turnovers you guys are asking. Technically, 2 giveaways to 1 for Carolina. That doesn't seem right. This could possibly go down as one of the worst performances ever in a series. That's just sad. This is actually the Canadiens are actually putting up a better fight than the other two teams that Carolina played. So it's not even the worst series that Carolina has been in this playoff. In fact, it would probably be the best that they've been in. So once again, it just seems like you kind of watch the Habs series and you haven't really watched the other series because awful things are happening in the others. Colorado got pasted in their series. They're hard exams. Ugh. You're giving me nightmares about school. Thank God I'm not in school anymore. Well, if I got through it, you're gonna get through it. I don't think they're putting up a better fight at all compared to Ottawa and Philly. Adam, I think you're just like so like hyper focused on the Habs that you have like you've sort of given everybody else a pass. But rest assured, Ottawa Senators looked like a peewee team compared to Carolina, and the Canadiens at least have given themselves the opportunity to potentially win the games that they've been in. Not shooting has been a problem all season. All season they've been, which is why did Suzuki take a shot there? This Suzuki has been an absolute problem on this. Why did he not take a shot? What the hell is wrong with him? Like, what the fuck is wrong with this team? Why can they not shoot? Like, it's like a mental blockage at this point. Suzuki is seriously pissing me off. Shoot the puck. It's become like enraging. I don't. I wish I had an explanation for you guys. Oh yeah, saw that hit on Suzuki as well. Is Suzuki trying to be the new Matthews? God, I hope not. At least Suzuki's playing well on the defensive side of the puck, I would say. But on the offensive side of the puck, he is lost, lost, lost. TVA blasting Suzuki. Yeah, he's the leader, man. Like it, and this is Kirby Doc, who has pretty much lost the trust of his coach as the series has progressed. With, I mean, when you get outplayed, you take penalties. That's kind of what that penalty feels like. Doc, just what we needed. How have they called the first penalty on the Habs? Ridiculous. Suzuki is mentally tired. I think is not just mentally tired, possibly physically banged up as well. But yeah, he's just not passing up. I mean, he had a chance to win the game. He should have won the game in overtime, and he just whiffed on it. Oof. Compared to what Carrier did to Hudson in OT last game, that is a ridiculous penalty. Yeah, that high hit in the back of the net. Did anyone give these guys a pep talk before this game? Doesn't look like it. No, another scarily unprepared start for the Habs. At least the penalty kill seems comfortable. Yes, I'm a homer, but was that dock penalty serious enough to call? I think in the playoffs that one you could probably go without calling that one, but by the letter of the law, is it a penalty? I mean, I guess you can make that call, but in the playoffs, do they often not call those? Yeah. With a performance like this, they deserve to have fans turn on them. While the Bell Center's a little quiet so far, we'll see what happens when they kill the penalty. Can the Habs hopefully get a freaking shot on goal? A blowout in two overtimes. Not sure the Habs are doing badly in this series. I don't think they're doing badly in so much that they're just like there seems to be a relatively easy way to turn the tide in the series, and that is to just fire at will at Anderson, and they just seem completely unwilling to do it, and I don't understand why. Well, they're back to 5-on-5. Are they going to give us the shot? Yeah, did Kirby Dach get the first shot on goal for the Habs today? I don't think they're going to give it to him, to be honest. You're going to have to study. No, psychology. Really, I feel like I feel like this live blog is a psychology class sometimes. you're you're, def- you're definitely dealing with a group of people with I don't know, who are being put through some sort of Rorschach test here. Watching the Habs game, what do you see? Everybody sees something different. The lack of shot on goals on Marty and the system he implemented. As posted earlier, the best and constant player is Dobesh, who isn't handled by Marty. Was the dock penalty serious enough? I didn't think so. I would have played Jack and Gallagher tonight, but what do I know? I feel that most of you guys are. I think we're pretty unanimous about playing Jack tonight, but I'm curious to how you guys feel about Gallagher, because I wouldn't have played Gallagher. I think that putting him and his speed this late in the series would have been asking for trouble. If they get a shot and it's Hudson, and they actually got it like it generated a decent chance there. Yeah, maybe not Galley, but 100% would have played Arbor. Same. I don't think Galley would have changed much. I like Struble. I like Struble as a third pairing defenseman. I think when they put Struble with Hudson, it's a problem. They're not a good fit. Hudson needs a legit right-handed defenseman to play with. That is, I think, in my mind, almost certainly why they drafted Reinbacher. Remains to be seen if he can be that guy, of course. Best team in the East and second best team in the league from the regular season. We went into OT with them twice. It sure is a reason not to change the lineup if Marty has faith in them. I'm sure that's what Marty is thinking. Marty is thinking we're a Dobson offside goal. Like if Caulfield's not offside on that goal, we win that game. Is probably what he's thinking in his mind. He's thinking, yes, do we need to shoot more? Possibly. But we can do it with the personnel we have. We don't have to make changes. I think that's just like how he's probably thinking about it. And then, of course, Suzuki finally tries to shoot the puck, and it hits Keandre Miller. Man, Keandre Miller, another guy that they just... Carolina's so good at just, like, identifying players who are kind of misused on other teams. Keandre Miller was, like, kind of groomed to be, like, a top defenseman for the Rangers. He's not that guy, but middle guy, he's great. Karen, very difficult question. Obviously, I think without knowing, your autistic son here, I think that's bad, and he should invite him. But I also, don't know how, the severity, and if dealing with crowds is very difficult for him. I know some autistic people are, that's interference right there. Um, I know that some autistic people, it's crowds and things like that could be very difficult. A wedding could be, sensory overload. But I think you should find a way to get the younger brother involved somehow. You know what I mean? If the party and the ceremony and all that is too much, maybe there's a way to just include him in certain moments. Maybe have the ceremony and then maybe take him somewhere else after. I don't know, but I think he should be involved in some capacity. Um, Try to find a way, but I think without knowing sort of how autistic, I think that it's hard to say. Do we get a shot on the PP? Is really arguing that it's interference? Yeah, that was a pretty clear interference. He's lovely and would be fine. If there was a problem, I'd leave. There you go. Offer to your son, hey, if your brother is an issue, has problems, I'm happy to take him and I'll go take him out and I'll bring him home or whatever. Uh, that would be a good. I think that would be a good compromise. But I think your son will regret it in the end if his brother is not included. I think. I'm sure he's nervous right now about the wedding and everything's got to be perfect and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you remember the people who were there, and you don't remember about this moment and that moment not being perfect. You know what I mean? In the preparation of the wedding, you're like, everything's got to be perfect, and you get all crazy. And then at the end of the day, nobody fucking remembers any of that shit, and people just remember the faces and seeing each other, having a good time. We need a 2C. That much is clear. Mark's feeling confident here. I like it. Anyways, okay, very much enjoying your guys' responses to Karen. I think see you guys are a really nice bunch. When it's like a nice when you guys are good to each other. I like it. Be good to each other. And then Karen also says, can we stop with the Marty hatred? Send in your resume or shut your mouth. That's funny. I think we can criticize some of his decisions. I think people who are like he is one of the better I think he's proven he's one of the better coaches in the league, and he's getting better fast. But he's still a very young coach, and there's still lots of things he's got to learn. You know what I mean? All right. Habs need to score here. Ray-Ban says, we love Marty. We're just not loving the uninspiring play of the team right now. I feel like Rod Brindamore made some really good adjustments after game one. And like now the ball's in your court, Marty. Like now's your turn. You've made some really great moves in the playoffs so far. Now you just need one more move here. One more big move to like turn the tide here. Because I think that, I don't think the Canadiens are like light years behind the Canes. They're close. They just need like a little more. Another fan shot here. The sticks are tight. Oh, nice centering pass attempt. Oh no, what a good chance. You're saying Hudson can't do it all by herself. I do feel like in this series, and again, I think this is like part of Struble having Struble as your anchor defense pairing, dragging you down. I do feel like Hudson has been trying to do a little too more and has been pushing a little bit too much and not using his teammates well. But again, having Struble as your defensive partner might be why. We're back to 5-on-5, by the way. I didn't Pimp. I hear you. I thought that power play was pretty good, actually. I didn't hate it. Uh, I didn't hate the power play. I think they had a couple chances in there. Yes, I do think Jaden Struble drags Hudson down as a defenseman. And another chance for the Habs. So this is a great opportunity. I thought it was a decent PP. I too thought it was a decent PP. I thought the passing is not crisp. The Canadiens are definitely gripping their sticks. Honestly, watching that power play, it looks like a nervous bunch of dudes. That's why I'm like, I don't think it's like a low effort. I think this team is just facing adversity right now, and is not like entirely sure how to beat that adversity. Must convert here for sure. I think Hudson plays too much, so we have a difference of opinion. No, I think he's played all right. I just think he needs a better defense partner, really. I think he needs a defense partner on his level. Go study, She. Oh my God, you keep coming back. You got to study. Got to become a sports psychologist so you can figure out why the Canadiens don't shoot. I've sacrificed 2 date nights for the Habs this series. They owe me. My wife's come to accept it now, but I definitely owe her a nice night when this is all over. I've been saying this all year. Suzuki on the initial PP faceoff is a disaster. Yeah, he's otherwise a good faceoff man, but man, he does have his moments, and the power play is one of them. Brutal. Second power play is much, much, much worse than the first power play. First power play was okay, and then the second one is. At least we're not Colorado. Man, they got swept. That was shocking to me. Even with Makar out. Really shocking stuff. Really? Caulfield went to the room? Oh, yeah, look at that. Lots of penalties. After what I thought was a pretty decent refereeing in this series so far, there seemed like they were definitely being big on the whistle. I mean, just to like, yeah. I guess the refs are gonna. They're not gonna just let him play tonight. They're gonna. They're gonna call him. We beat these guys 4 in a row. It's not like we can't beat them. They could beat them, absolutely. Another penalty I didn't even notice. That's funny. Gooley had the open shot, but he followed a strategy of waiting until the Canes could block it. I was thinking the exact same thing, Pinfash. I was like, why is he like double skating forward and like double pumping it? And then the guy got a stick in. Just rip it. Just rip a shot. I don't care if you're not shooting with a ton of momentum. Just off the stick, go. Take a shot, try to force a rebound. It's at this point, it's everybody's like looks like they got the yips. Habs are their own worst enemy tonight. They have allowed Carolina to get into their heads. Man, this is not the first period that everybody was like hoping to see from the Montreal Canadiens. They look like they're just doing just a repeat of the previous 2 games, which did not go in their favor. They gotta shoot. They gotta shoot. This is getting. I mean, how many times do I gotta say this? Whoever said if we didn't have that goal disallowed, we would have won is 100% right. They need to wake up. Yeah, I mean, obviously, who knows what would have happened. Uh, but yeah. And now they're down 1-0. Unbelievable. Was that a right as soon as it became a power play? Like literally right out of the box. They set up. Not much of a play. And Aho makes it 1-0. Just everything that could go wrong for the Habs this period entering this game is what has happened. Like this is like worst case scenario for the Habs, I think, coming out here. They did not come out with a different game plan, and the exact same thing is happening to them. Hard to watch a young team keeps making same mistakes over and over. This is just like game 2 and 3. Now on top of everything else, power play goal. Habs are cooked. Was it offside? Oh my god, are they gonna challenge? That'd be funny. Habs call a timeout. That's hard because the puck is in the air. That one's really hard to to figure out because it's not the puck is in the air, right? They're calling the pass back. Are they calling the initial pass the pass back? Because if it's the pass back, then it's in the air. Marty is no challenge. It is indeed 1-0. And no timeout. They now no longer have their timeout. Let's see. Hopefully that does not come back to haunt the Habs. And the puck is once again right back in the zone. Pretty wild that first goal in 8 games for uh, the man who could have been a Hab, Sebastian Aho. I kid, of course. I kid. But and now it's 2-0. Oh my god, this game has unraveled in a real hurry. That was a pass that just kind of shoveled out in front, and it's looking pretty over. There's a half-hearted go Habs go, but I don't know, guys. I do think this one falls on Marty. This team came out the exact same way for 3 straight games. I don't understand why. I don't understand why they didn't try to change things up or make any adjustments. Yeah, exactly. A bank in front. A bank in front because Carolina likes putting pucks towards the net. Yeah, that's what we've been yelling and screaming. Three? Almost three. Oh, it is three. Well, there you go. That's that. What an absolute disastrous effort from the Canadiens tonight. A real sad end to this one. They did not. So they scored 3 goals in a span of 2:46. 2:46. They scored 3 goals. What an absolute sad way to go tonight. Stankhoven or Stank Oven? Stank Oven. I was like, how do you actually spell that? David Jarcy looks like he'll be going to bed early tonight. Well, the live blog will stay here till the bitter end, but if you guys want to talk about music, Boards of Canada have a new album coming out this week. I'm excited about that. No, you can talk about whatever you want. Anybody got any nice summer plans? No. No. I mean, look, anything can happen, man. Anything can happen in hockey. I'm not being a little morbid now because it's just like, what the hell? Hello, JDW, who may or may not be our friend Timur signed in on a different account, which is fine. Yes, he has not played well. The Habs are worn out. They have the signs of an exhausted group. They can't even make simple passes. D. Smith, I think I'm going to agree with you. Does Monty play in Game 5? See you, Mark. I'll see you. The Habs still have one more on Friday, man. You never know what might happen. You never know what might happen. Maybe the desperation will kick in. It could happen. Joseph, truer words never spoken. Struble is nice and fresh, dude. Absolutely nothing. Look on the bright side. Guaranteed to play in Raleigh. Yeah, they might. Carolina might win the cup on. Yeah, at least. Or not the cup. It's the conference final. At least they win the conference final at home. Same stuff. Doesn't work. No change. No answer. 2 7-game series did them in. It's been a good year, Jim says. Just ran out of gas. Luckily, now I have more time to ride my bike or get to bed early. Yeah, I don't think I'll watch the final. Sorry. If it's the Canes and Knights in the final, I don't think I'll watch. The 1993 team played more games than this. This ain't the 1993. That was a special team, that one. Still proud of my team. I am too. And I'm super disappointed that they didn't have anything more to give, and they couldn't figure out how to beat Carolina, but they made it to the third round, and I definitely did not think that was going to happen entering the season. Not even sure I thought that entering the playoffs. So you know what? Second line and somebody better than Apple Struble. Somebody's down in the corner. Is that Matheson? Who's just, I think that's being down. His pride is wounded more than his body. First period over. It is 3-0 Hurricanes. Just an absolute dominant period. 13-5 in shots for Carolina. There's just no mercy in that one. No freaking mercy in that little thing right there. 3 goals in 2 minutes and 46 seconds. For real. So the Habs were outshot, as I said, 13-5 in that period. Sad that 5 shots is actually considered a good thing. D. Smith says, they made great strides again this year, but this team still has too many holes. Can Hughes trade Caulfield for a second-line center? Well, then they would have a 50-goal hole. So is there a way that they can get a second-line center without having to trade one of their really good players? I think would be nice. And then the hope is, of course, that once you have more offensive players, Caulfield will have less pressure on him and can provide more offense. One of the big problems that Montreal Canadiens had under the Marc Bergevin years, and before that, for 20-some-odd years, the Canadiens, they wouldn't have enough offensive players. So then when their offensive players got shut down in the playoffs, everyone would be like, oh, they're terrible and have no heart. Like Pacioretty is a good example. But they literally had nobody who could score on that team. Other teams just had to defend against one guy. So yeah, of course he's going to get his ass whooped. It's the Mitch Marner thing. Everybody's like, oh, Mitch Marner had no heart. What a loser. I'm so glad he's gone from the Leafs. And then he suddenly goes to Vegas and plays well. Why do you think that happened? Oh, because he has a bunch of other weapons there, and they can't defend against all of them. So then you get more opportunities, and you score, and you win. So I would not recommend trading Caulfield, but I would recommend getting more players. The 1993 team won 4 games all series. At one point, they won 11 in a row. They had rest and knew how to finish off opponents. We don't have the killer instinct. We relied on comebacks and 3-on-3 to get there. That 93 team was real special, and they're not that team. They could become that team, but they're not that team. That team had a really nice mix of vets, young players. They're really good. At best, the Habs were a wild card. We keep forgetting that Florida and Habs excelled the Habs. Habs all season lacked a 2C, and half season the defense stunk out of place. Yet look where we finished. I don't know. No, I think they were the best team in the division in the end. I think they beat Tampa and Buffalo fair and square and were the best team in the division, which was a very good division. They were not better than Carolina, probably not better than Colorado, Vegas, and like some of the elite teams of the West. But the Canadiens, I think, were as good as advertised during the regular season. But they've now met their match, and it's going to take an absolute miracle now. Ryan says Carolina's been a Stanley Cup contender all year, and against us, they're showing us why. That's what I think happened. This team is done in this series. They may win one more, but they've given up. It's obvious. Carolina will get lit up by Vegas. I'm not so sure about that. Vegas were really impressive. They might definitely win, but I don't know. I think we all underestimated Carolina entering the series. Just like the 21 season didn't draw a comparison. Yeah, every team's different. Every team kind of wins in different ways. Toronto couldn't afford a good bottom six or defense. They overpaid their core. Yeah, exactly. They didn't have enough weapons. They overpaid for the weapons they had. So then the playoffs would come around. Matthews would struggle, and Mitch Marner would just be there trying to get it done, and like wouldn't get a lot of support. Like Nylander, and then that series against the Habs, obviously Tavares got hurt, and they just didn't have enough weapons to keep it going. And now he's in a place in Vegas where they've got tons of weapons, and he doesn't have to be the guy every game. And there's just more room for him. One team's out of gas, the other is a fully charged electric hurricane power. One team young, one team old. Is Carolina old? Or do you mean Carolina versus Vegas? Because Vegas is pretty old. Carolina's like kind of like a good mix. They have like a good mix of young and old. Gotta start writing that eulogy galooly. This is a good team, but they need that big bopper. They need a little something. The Canadiens, I mean, I think we all agree and we all know, and I'm sure the organization would be the first to admit it, that they do need like a little extra sauce in here. I think Ron McLean or Ron Francis. You're talking about Ron McLean, right? Yeah, he's a Zoolander. Oh, who are the Zoolander references? Oh, the Eula Googie. I watched that movie. I don't remember anything about it though. I'm not a big movie watcher, I gotta say. I'll be cheering for Marner just to stick it to the Leafs. I kind of will be too, actually, a little bit. I gotta admit, I will kind of be like, it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be very funny when Mitch Marner hoists a Stanley Cup and potentially wins the Conn Smythe Trophy. That would be pretty funny. They need grit on every line. Yeah, I think they have a lot of talent, the Habs do, but I do think that the next big piece they want to bring in, I would like it to be somebody who's got like a good two-way game about him. I heard some rumors about Nico Hischier. That would be pretty interesting. Philly and Ottawa miles better than we have been. We aren't as close as people think. That is maybe the wrongest thing that I've heard. They both got swept, and none of them. I don't. Philly had one good game, I think, and Ottawa was just very bad. Now, admittedly, Sanderson got hurt, and that was done. But I would take Mark Stone over Caulfield any day of the week. That is not a thing. That's even a choice. Mark Stone is a experienced veteran who loves being in Vegas and is has an incredible career. And Caulfield's a young scorer, but like they're not. It's like saying I don't know. It's not a thing. Like they would not take that trade. I don't think like Stone's a better player. I mean, I'm not obviously he's he's paid a lot more. He's a better player. I don't really. Yeah. Au revoir, Montreal, for what you did to my Lightning. Yeah, we sure as hell beat those Lightning. Marner will really enjoy his day at Toronto with the cup, with his crew, with his boys, who the Leafs never liked. They never liked Mitch's boys. Get one in the second, make this a game. They don't. Yeah, they don't have. They should still try very hard to try to come back in this thing. I think. I think there's still a lot of value in not giving up here. No, it's not about scoring 4 goals, Pimp. It's about like just not quitting. Quitting is like the worst thing you can do. It ends your season on a sour note. If they fight to the bitter end and still lose, I think we'll all be happier, and they'll be happier going into the offseason than just being like shell shocked and getting their losing 6-0, and that's that. It's not about winning, scoring. They're not going to score 4 goals tonight. I think we all know that's pretty clear. But they can at least try to get back in this. You know what I mean? There's still value in that. I understand that some of you guys are just like, they have to win 82 games and win the Stanley Cup, or else I'm going to be like a sad baby for like months on end. But in reality, there would be value in trying to like at least come back. CBC is showing the very depressed fans outside. I can imagine that this has hit them badly. Again, Pimp, we're not saying that they're going to win. We're just saying that they should try. They should try to get back in this game instead of everybody just giving up and like sulking. Like, they should try. They're not going to win. They're not going to score 4 goals, but they should try. Should they not? Let me know, Pimp. Let me know if you think they shouldn't try. If you think they shouldn't try, let me know. I'd be really surprised if you are just like, they shouldn't try. They should try. Next year, they will learn how much working harder to end a series is the only way to get there. That's it. Like, they have to like learn how to lose before you can win. They got really far. They got to the conference final. No team is going to magically go from like losing in the first round to winning the Stanley Cup. Like, that's pretty unrealistic. You know what I mean? Like, the Canadiens are going to have to go on some of these runs and get their ass beat and like learn from that to be better. It's just not realistic to just expect them to like wake up one morning and we're like, okay, we're now like a Stanley Cup contender. Like, it doesn't really work that way. Like, you do have to like work your way there. So this has been a big season. It's, a lot of great things have happened. I think they've hit a wall now. I think they're not going to climb that wall, but they should try their hardest. They've come so far over the last few years, so much more hopeful than you've been in the last 20 years. There you go, Jim. Of course, everyone should try. You are correct. Sports Dom, I'm hearing literal people saying that it's not worth trying. They're saying, "Oh, it's cooked. It's over. Done." I know it's cooked and they're done. They should still try. Play Jackeye and Struble. Let Kapanen see if he can. I think they should put Kapanen back in. They need somebody who can. Kapanen's good guy. He scored most of his goals from like the garbage areas in front of the net. Why not put him back with Demidov? Have him park in front of the net and just see what happens. Here you go, Jim. How many years in a row were the Canes swept in the conference finals despite being contenders? Exactly. Oh, this is definitely Timur, because Timur talks about Caulfield and the Canadiens rioting and uses the smartest man in hockey. What happened to your login, Timur? You didn't get kicked out, did you? I don't kick people out. Did you just like forget your login? You're very welcome here. You don't have to not. You know what I mean? Kapanen with Demidov and Slav. Yeah, that's what I would say to do. That's what I would say to do. Bob says, win or lose, still a diehard Habs fan. I'm very proud of this team. Come on, Final Four. I am totally like, I understand that like right now it's super disappointing, but in the grand scheme of things, the season is a success. Kapanen look worse than an AHL player. Yeah, he has not looked good in these playoffs, but I still think that He had success for most of the season with Demidov and Newhook. I think they should just try. That's all. I at this point they have nothing to lose because they're already going to lose, right, Pimp? They're cooked, so you might as well try something. I think. As a future, hopefully psychologist, I'm not ready to give up yet. Well, that's good. After tonight, I'd rather lose on Friday than having us watch Carolina awarded the Prince of Wales on Bell Center ice. I hate to say it, Ryan, but I kind of agree with you. Just put us out of our misery. If they really if they can't come back tonight and at least make it a game, just make it a game tonight. Don't lose 7-0 tonight. Make it a game tonight. Lose 4-2. 4-2 is fine. Try to get back in this and give us a little hope for Friday. If you don't give us any hope for Friday, then just end this and put me out of my misery. I want to go golfing. I want to go golfing too, Let me go golf. But if there's a little bit of fight, I will be here and fight with them to the bitter end. If there's a little more fight in them, I'd love to see a little more fight. Hello, Reg. We need to get tough, and 21 can't do it alone. They should have put Jack Guy in tonight. I know that's not the be all and end all. He's a defenseman who's going to play 5 to 10 minutes. I know it's not the biggest change, but I think it would have made a difference. I think it could have made a little difference. Put Slav with Demidov and Kapanen. Anderson with Suzuki and Caulfield. I don't know if Anderson. Who else can they put? Texier. He's really struggled. Doc has struggled. They've run out of guys who aren't struggling here. Bolduc's been okay, but he's not good on that line. None of us are off the bandwagon if they lose. We will hate it and get over it. I think that's ultimately how this is all going to be. That's how it's going to be. We're here to vent and we're here to be upset about what went down. 1 goal in the second and win it in the third. That's the spirit. No matter the outcome, the Habs are only going to get better. I hope so. I think so. I'm going to live stream the golfing, right? You betcha. You betcha. A good season with a young team that needs calibrating. I think that's a perfect way to describe it. The tweaking still needs to be done here. I changed both my shirts. Maybe a new hat. I'm almost out of hats here, Karen. I think I just got to keep this hat. Do I have another hat that I can wear? No, I have another hat in the other room. I might go for it, but if the Habs do lose tonight, will the main question be why can't they play at the Bell Center, or the youth has no energy? I think the not playing at the Bell Center thing has been a real disappointment these playoffs, because the fans have given them every reason to play their hearts out, and they haven't. The performances haven't measured up. Arbor should spend the summer with his brother practicing to play on the fourth line. I'll shout in your backswing. I'm that guy. Oh, I bet you are, Jim. I bet you are. Arbor and Gallagher need to play. I think Arbor should play. I don't know about Gallagher. I think that ship has sailed. Okay, we're back for put your hat on inside out. Yeah, should I? Well, how about just like that? Oh, it looks terrible. No, I'm not gonna do that. Like a rally cap? There, how's that? How's the rally cap? Flo and Arbor will be gone. They aren't the type of players that suit the system. I hope there's room for guys like that in the system. I hope. Caulfield will be fine. They will all be fine. Time is on their side. If not this year, then next year. Mark Stone is slow, yet he plays. Gallagher doesn't. Seems wrong to me. It's because of the type of It's because of the type of game they play. The Canadiens are play a fast transition game. Vegas plays like a behind the boards cycle game. Honestly, Gallagher might be done for the Habs, but he might be not be done in the NHL. On a team that's like slower, that plays more like him with like two big bodies, and then he just kind of parks himself in front of the net, it could happen. I did go for the rally cab. Anything now. I know, lots of comments tonight. I love it. Oh my god, just shots at the turnovers 10-1 in the first period. Eric, they aren't being used by the system. Yeah, I know. I hope that there's room to maneuver here. And there is room to include. Vegas play the most boring hockey in the world. I totally agree. Is that the line right now? Yeah, that is indeed the line right now. That decision to change lines with one man, he's awfully stubborn. I know. Marty is the blender going. I feel like this team could be good with the blender. Starting with urgency. Still running Hudson. Icing, so many icings. Giving up on the Hab haters on Sportsnet. Slap with Demidov. I like it. Super urgent third. They skipped the second. Exactly. Forget the second period. Time to go to the third. Habs have made a huge investment in Hudson. They need to find a partner who can protect that investment. He needs a guy to play with him. D. Smith, I think the original intention is David Reinbacher. I do not know if David Reinbacher will be ready next year, but I think he needs to be given every opportunity to be that guy because he looked pretty good in Laval. I think he's got the potential. This series tells me that we need to get meaner, more physical, and bigger. Skills isn't enough. Size, skill, and physicality wins in the playoffs. Galley could help with the leadership issues in Vancouver, but only if he buys the team. That's funny. Doc with Texier and Veleno. Those are the bad boys. Reinbacher and Konyushkov can play with Hudson. Konyushkov is a super interesting guy because he looks great in Russia from what like little I see and from what I read about him. Really curious to see if he ever comes over. Does he want to come over? What's his deal? We shall see. He's not banned. I see he logged in under a different name. I don't know what happened to Timur's login. He's more than welcome to log in and badmouth Cole Caulfield if he wants. Well within his rights. Pull Doby and bring back Halak. I know. Doby let up 3 goals on the night where Halak was here. That backfired. Carrier is a nice guy, but opponents laugh at him after they smash his face into the glass. Carrier has been an excellent placeholder defenseman and has done some very fine work, but he's not the and never was. He never was the long term solution at right defense. Carrier was here because some guys didn't meet their development. They didn't like some of the mix they had. Justin Barron wasn't good, so they mixed things up and they brought in Carrier, and Carrier has been a good placeholder, but he's not the solution at right D, and I don't think they've ever felt that he is. He's got 1 year left after this deal, and I think the hope is that they'll have some of their younger defensemen will finally take a job next year and then push Carrier out of the lineup. I confess that I'm a bit exhausted by the playoff run as a fan. I can't even watch all the media commentary and podcasts anymore. Yeah, it's been super interesting on the other side as someone who live streams and then makes Hockey Inside Out and plans out a lot of the coverage for the Gazette. I too have also I'm starting to see some of my colleagues at CBC and City TV and CTV start to do these stories that I'm just I get that you've got to have your Hab stories of the day, but I'm kind of do people really want to read the story about this guy that traveled here from I don't know, from England to watch a game? Does anybody really want to read the story about this taxi driver shows the game in his taxi at night when he drives people? Those kind of things. They're cute, they're funny, but I'm as we've moved on with the series, I've tried to be a little less. Oh man, I gotta have 5 stories about the Habs ready today for all you guys, and more I'm gonna be more selective about what I do and make sure that what I do is of value to you guys. Anyways, that's my thought on sports journalism in 2026. Because it's 3-0 Carolina. Shot 16-8 Carolina. There's 6 minutes now into the second period. And nothing has happened. And I swear I would have gone back to the game if something had happened. I'm beginning to worry about Reinbacher. Reinbacher, I think, if he doesn't make the team next year, I'd be worried. I think he did enough in Laval this year to show that he can make the team next year. But if he comes into camp next year and doesn't look ready, then I'm going to be oh. As for whether Reinbacher ends up being a number 3 and number 2 defenseman, or, I mean, probably not, but maybe a top pairing defenseman, probably not. I'm not even that worried about that. Are the Canadiens not hitting because they're afraid of penalties? That is hilarious. I think they're just trying to chase the puck right now. I think they're just trying to get the puck, and Carolina's just too structured, and there's just the opportunities to make a hit are just not there. Do you think Reinbacher's going to go to Europe and he won't hack it in North America? I don't know. I think that's a bit extreme. I think he can definitely hang in the NHL. He's got a little mean streak about him that he's got to tap into, but so did Slav, and Slav has not really tapped into it in the way that we hoped. I watch no content after a loss. I do that, RPM. I'm a big, as you guys know, I'm a big San Francisco Giants fan. And if you guys think that you guys are upset about the Canadiens right now, you should go hang out at the San Francisco Giants message boards, where it is an absolute dog's breakfast right now. Holy crap, are people mad? You guys are positively mild compared to the anger and vitriol of San Francisco Giants fans right now. Why on earth would anyone be worried about Reinbacher? He's going to be a star. Because it's taken a while, Karen. He's been injured and it's taken a while. And honestly, just like a lot of people just haven't seen him very much. They've seen some highlights uh in the AHL. They've seen the odd AHL game. They saw he played what, two NHL games. Um, I understand the like skepticism, but I think towards the end of this last season in Laval, he took a real turn to me where I am like I do think he can win a job next. I mean, I think he should win a job next year. If Reinbacher isn't ready next year, he's a long shot to be a top four. Yeah, his like upside is kind of the issue here. Like, I think he's an NHL defenseman. Do I think he's a top four defenseman? I don't know. Do I think he's like a six? I don't know. Do I think he's a one? No, I don't think he's a one. But do I think he can hang with Hudson? I think he eventually can. Maybe he doesn't start that way, but I think he can. You have Devers in your fantasy pool. I'm so sorry that you have Devers in your fantasy pool. That really sucks. He's playing a little better lately though. If there was a Swiss GM in the NHL, we could trade him to that team. I wonder if there ever will be. We don't need Reinbacher to be a star. Just a steady stay-at-home D-man. Exactly. Oh, Caulfield with a shot. Nothing going on. But yeah, Newhook's out there with look at Newhook working hard with the top line. You love to see it. Nice shot, Dobson. I wish Dobson were shooting more. Oof. Svechnikov is so good. He has such a good shot. I thought Reinbacher would be playing in these playoffs. I think they were like, when Dobson got hurt, I definitely think they considered it for a minute. But ultimately, they went with Jack Struble. They went with the guys they know. But I do think that when Dobson got hurt and they called up Reinbacher, it was definitely like hmm, could he? Newhook can stay. Yo, look at Newhook working hard behind the net, man. Oh, and then Slavkovsky was just a brutal play. Make no mistake, Sick Media and others have stated that if Reinbacher is not a top two, the Habs wasted that pick. It must be a top two. Uh, no. If he's a player who plays on the team and is useful, like it doesn't matter if you don't get it doesn't matter if you don't get the best pick in the end. Like, is it an opportunity lost? Yes. But if you get a player, you still have a player. You know what I mean? Like Lane Hudson is the free gift player that you got. You got a number one defenseman in the second round. So like in a weird way, the Canadiens can afford to have a number five overall pick be like a number four defenseman. And like you kind of came out even. Like these things are not one to one. It's not like you left a slightly better player on the draft, so clearly you have failed. Like it doesn't work that way. You can win a Stanley Cup with lots of first round picks that don't super pan out and then they're just being okay players. You know, Alex Newhook is a first round pick that is like an okay. You know, he's Paul Byron. You know, when you draft Alex Newhook at 16 overall or whatever it was, and he's not a star player, like, did you like fail? Nah, you got a player. You're fine. Is Hudson the number one or is Dobson or Matheson? I think Hudson's the real number one. End of the day, Hudson is the guy that I think gets this team's motor running. True, we could have had Mishkov. Could have had Mishkov. I don't know if he would have played here. Hell, they might be able to trade for Mishkov this summer. It's starting to look like. Without a real second line center, Suzuki will be shut down every time the playoffs roll around. He isn't Crosby. D. Smith, there's no doubt that they've watched these playoffs and are very, very aware that they need a second line center. For sure. They're not entering the offseason being, oh yeah, we've got Dano and Evans. We're set up the middle. Like they're definitely not thinking that. That was the best they could do this year. There wasn't really anyone available for them to get, so they went with the guys they have. But Mishkov showed up out of shape at training camp. Would how would have the media destroyed him? I mean, he didn't even want to be here. He didn't want to play here. He didn't want to play here. Call me crazy, but I would have dressed both Jack guys for the game. That would have been fun. Well, if Hudson's the number one, again, you're like obsessing over like weird details. It doesn't like Cale Makar is small and he's the number one for Colorado and they won a cup. Quinn Hughes is small and he's the number one for Minnesota and well, they didn't win a cup, but they're a very good team. Like if the rest of your team, if you have other elements of your team that work, like it's fine. Like you guys are like weird. You guys are like, oh, like if you have a number one overall pick, you have to draft Connor McDavid. If you like sign this guy, he has to do this. It doesn't have to be that way. The team is like a jumbly mix, and then you got to figure out how to like plug in the gaps, basically. Habs played two tough teams, and Carolina coasted through. They even had a holiday. Yeah, there was. I think we're starting to see that holiday was probably what affected the most in Game One. The 1980s. Phil Housley is small in the Hall of Fame, but no cups. Yeah, but lots of small Hall defensemen have done great things. And again, if you're on a defense where you're Lane Hudson, who's short, but then you've got Dobson, Gooley, Reinbacher, a bunch of 6'3", 6'4" guys, like you're okay. Like they can't have six Lane Hudson height guys of that height, but people acting like this is the Habs' last chance are a joke. Bastu and Godin did a deep research on draft picks, and the results of those picks, the overall best road to cup is average to a second round in the 60s pick. Yeah, I think if you like hit on those, if you hit on those guys, you cover up a lot of the hard depth players that other teams have to spend a lot of money on. Like one of the reasons why the Oilers have never panned out is because they got their two like lottery guys and then Evan Bouchard, Nugent Hopkins, these big like names, but then they never drafted well after that. And so they constantly had to fill their depth positions with like the Trent Fredericks of the world, which just dragged the team down. So I totally believe that good drafting in the top 60. I like my D big, Larry Robinson or Serge Savard. Sorry, I have a bias because I've seen them win some cups. I want them to win, not just okay and get 100 points. Uh, I mean, it's just different. The game's just like super different now. And like, I don't understand what you're suggesting. Are you suggesting that they trade Lane Hudson because he's small? Like, if the rest of your defense is big, which is, I think, how they're going to plan this team out, like, the way the team is going to be done is that Lane Hudson is going to be the one small defenseman they have, and the rest of them will be pretty big. So I think they'll insulate him pretty well, which I think is important. And then, like you're saying, like, if I had told you that Dobson's the number one defenseman and Lane Hudson's the number two defenseman, would you have been like, oh, okay, great, they're going to win a cup now? Like, that's weird. Like, they have both. It doesn't really matter who's the number one, number two, really, at the end of the day. Last year was a learning experience versus the Caps. This year's a master class on what it takes to be a champ. Yeah, I think there's a lot of clarity now on like what the Canadiens need to do to go to the next level. I think you guys have identified it, right? A right-handed defensive partner for Hudson, a second line center, more grit on the bottom six, like would make a big difference. Gallagher should dress next game along with Arbor. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do that. Yeah, the heart of the Habs is Gallagher, and he is scratched. Yeah, I mean, at this point, like I would have said, like I think Gallagher has the speed to hang in the series? No, but again, they're now in a point where like you might as well just try something new. What you're doing isn't working, so you might as well just try something new, like Kapanen. Heart of the team is still Gallagher. D. Smith is right. They're still settling into their respective roles on this young team. Still have so much in the pipeline. Still have development to do. Looking great. And I think when Gallagher does go, they're gonna have to figure out how to fill that leadership void. Somebody's down for the Canes. Ehlers is down. What's going on? To show some respect to Gallagher, play him next game. At this point, that's also very true, right? Like, you're fighting for your life, but you're also like, who knows? Okay, you guys are pretty down for to dress Gallagher here. Yes, but Hudson plays 29 minutes, and the size and grit like Jackeye plays 3 minutes. I have serious issues that Hudson should play less and Jackeye more. I want them to win cups. I don't know if Jackeye. I mean, they should play Jackeye more, and they should. I don't know if they should play Hudson less. I think they should play Jackeye more, but I think they should give Hudson. I think before they play Hudson less, I think they should find him an actual defensive partner. Keep in mind he has not played with a steady defensive partner all season, which is like insane. It's insane. Like insane maneuver. They are reviewing this. You guys think it was BS. Let's see what we're looking at here. Yeah, it certainly looks like a. Ah, I wonder when you guys were gonna start calling on SGA here. The Carolina power play coming up. You kind of already make the call there, so. Hello, Francois. These Sunbelt teams can't win against Colorado or the Habs without interference, intimidation, running the goalie, and a no ethics approach. That's how these cowardly teams win. The what do they call it? They call it the ethical basketball. They don't play ethical basketball, but unfortunately, it's just how it is in the playoffs, man. You gotta the Canadiens and Carolina Hurricanes play by the same rules. If the Canadiens want to intimidate their way into the cup, they're welcome to do so. Sounds like you're ready to trade Gooley. No, I like Gooley. I just don't think he can't play with Hudson. They're both left-handed defensemen. They need a right-handed defenseman. All season, they've had too many left-handed defensemen, not enough right-handed defensemen, and it has totally thrown everything out of whack. That's like been a big deal. Five on three with Dano coming out. They have definitely. Yoicks. I thought after two losses, Gallagher and Arbor would have played. How much worse could the results have been? They could not have been worse than tonight. That's for sure. Uh, yeah, I'm really disappointed that they put Struble in over Jack. I did not think that Struble had a good two games at all, and I don't think he plays well with Hudson, as I've said about a bajillion times tonight. Eric, not they. It's MSL. Uh, I I I think that if Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon had a major objection to the lineup, they would voice that objection. I do think that there's like in baseball, I think it's a little more of a group decision. Not entirely. If Marty like has a feel, he's gonna go with that feel, but I do think that organizationally everybody's kind of moving in the same direction. Pim says, yeah, it's they've relied too much on talent and it's coming back to haunt them. Yeah, they don't they had zero sandpaper last year and got whipped in 5 games. They have a little more sandpaper this year and they got to the third round. They're gonna need a little more sandpaper. That's definitely, I think, more than scoring, more than anything, what they're gonna need. They're gonna need just overall as a team to just be a little gnarlier, tougher. Play to injure. It's their only chance. I mean, I think that's what Tampa did. I think Tampa absolutely, after losing game one, targeted Anderson and Slavkovsky. I mean, the Habs did kill a 5-on-3. For all their faults, the penalty killing has been pretty solid. I know they gave up one tonight, but if I'm Arbor, I sign presumably a offer sheet with a team that wants me. Could happen. I don't know what's gonna happen, but play to injure. Just stop it. I mean, I think Tampa did it. I don't think they played to injure, but they definitely were like, we need to take Slavkovsky and Anderson out of this series. Arbor will get an offer sheet, and if I were him, I would take it. If somebody signs him to an offer sheet, it's because he's going to get good money that he won't get here. What do you think Hall's been doing? Hall and Carrier, right? Both very late hits on Hudson. It's not like intent to injure per se, but it is intent to take him out of the series. That's what the Sunbelt teams do, Francois said. They run the goalie to injure. I see Arbor to a team with young talent like the Hawks and Ducks. Ducks are an interesting group. Karen's gonna drink some bleach and tonic. We're getting to that point, Karen. I'm sad to say. Sad to say. But they just killed a 5-on-3. They might. It's still only 3-0. They might score a goal. Regardless of the outcome tonight, the Habs aren't conceding Game 5 with a ridiculous lineup. They'll address whoever gives them the best chance to stay alive. But I do think that Jack Guy gives them a better chance than Struble. Not by like a lot, but by a bit. If they lose tonight, you won't see another game in Montreal. They will play Game 5 in Carolina, where if Carolina wins tonight, they'll get a chance to close out the series in Carolina. So, very good chance you're right. Is that what the Kool-Aid tastes like? Tastes like almonds? The if I gotta take it, I'll take it. Jim wants more violence. Oof. Nice chance for Robinson. Man, that fourth line. 11 shots. Another low shooting game. And that's actually a lot of shots for them. But 23 for Carolina. Anyways, we're not going to see Florian, but I would like to see Arbor. I think they had more success with Arbor in the lineup. We get a breakout and there's 3 at their blue line. Ridiculous. Man, we talked all season about the Canadiens, how rough they are on their defensive play. Like, no wonder they're not matching up against Carolina well in the playoffs. Carolina is all structure. All structure. They're so good structure wise. Like, which is the one thing that the Canadiens are like not that good at. So it's definitely like watching a team and being like, oh, like this is how you win the playoffs. Jarvis all over Suzuki. Never say never. Teams can and have scored 3 goals in a period. Absolutely. Don't like. There's one thing to like hope against hope and then like just be like they're done. Like you can have hope against hope. You know what I mean? Like it's all we have in this world in the end, and it's just it's just hockey in the end. Keep rooting for the Habs. You never know. Oh, that was a nice attempt. Anderson. Anderson with some chances here. I was not a Jack-Eye fan earlier in the season with him fighting. He's not and won me over. Play him. Can't shoot, can't score, can't create space to make plays and sustain pressure in their zone. Why do we think Jack-Eye will move the needle? I love him, of course, but he's not a top 4D. I just think that he sets the defense a little better. Like it forces Lane Hudson to play with like somebody better, like Gooley or who knows. I just that's more my thing. I feel like Hudson plays better hockey when he's not stapled to Jaden Struble. Amazing run, but they lack the killer instinct. Jim says, "Yeah, they're gonna learn. They're gonna have to learn to have that, or if not, find somebody to add to this team that gives them that element." Hockey is life. Feels that way sometimes. Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slaff are too nice. That's why they need somebody else in that mix. I do think they need like I've said it. They need a Sam Bennett. Oh, quick whistle. And look at that late hit on Hudson. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Yeah. Late hit on Hudson there. Play to injure again. Arbor gives a certain energy for the guys. Joseph, how many games has Arbor sat? And then what were the results in the 3 games? It's nothing to do with the top four. Yeah, that's kind of how I see it too. It's a bit like you guys are saying to put Gallagher in. Do I think Gallagher's the best player to put in the lineup? No. Do I think that he could potentially come out and have like a good first shift and potentially get the ball rolling? Potentially. Unbelievable. And Marty looks. Oh my God, Marty looks unhappy. Oh, I mean, as much as this is a learning experience for the guys, it's going to be a learning experience for Marty too. Oh, I just watched the replay earlier of Gooley. Missed a little time, but I think he's back in there, right? Yeah, the Habs indeed do have 18 shots. They got a little more shots in here. Gooley did not leave the game, eh? Like he hurt his. I mean, he definitely hurt his knee, but he's still here. I think we need a player like Jack Eye. Gives us energy because it's easy to say when they're not in the lineup. But doesn't anyone truly believe the game is tied with Arbor playing? This is playoff hockey. Let those gloves rub off every now and then. The Habs just aren't playing a playoff winning style of hockey. I do think they need to adapt their game a little bit. I thought they did it in the Tampa series. I was like, oh, they're much tighter in the. I like they played a much tighter defensive game in the Tampa series. I was like, this is good. And then Buffalo, like Buffalo, was also kind of a bit more of a free load, like free forming team, so they're able to win on that level. And then now I think with Carolina, they're kind of back to like some of their like regular season mistakes. But second period over, still 3-0. All right, be right back. Hold on. All right, what's going on? Oh, I got weird people. I got weird people in here. What's going on? Come on, folks, be positive. Another 10 more shots on goal equals a combined shots on goal the last two games. They're going to get 20. Karen asked 15. It's 15. I don't know. You're right. It said 18 on the bug, but the NHL says it's 15 right now. Y'all suck. Okay. I might kick you out. Just watch out, buddy. Why are there so many posters I do not recognize tonight? They are coming out of nowhere. I don't know either, Mark. Am I popular? I will say, Mark, and I don't know if this is why. If you remember last game, I got booted for my uh, encoder, my encoder provider, and so I had to do it like on YouTube, and it was a bit messy, but it did better numbers. And then I talked it over with my boss, and I got a better encoder. And could it be my encoder is potentially getting more like search volume on YouTube? It's possible. It's possible. They're showing shots 18. I have 15 on the I have 15 on the NHL.com. Oh, hits. Hits, I have 22-18 for Carolina. Is that what you have? That's what I have. The Habs fans are so bad at losing. It's the refs, it's Marty, it's the players, it's the league, it's Bettman. It's for God's sakes, Carolina is good. Habs are young. That's Joseph. I agree with you, and that's what I think. I think they've met a team that's better. That's this year is better than them. I'm not saying that Carolina is going to be better than them forever. This time next year, the tables could turn. Just like I think the tables turned this year with Tampa and Montreal. Tampa and Montreal, Tampa was a better team, and then this year the tables turned, and I think Montreal got a little bit better. And I think now the next mountain to climb for the Canadiens is like Carolina. We'll see if Florida comes back next year. I'm not so sure, but like that's like the next level, you know. And they're gonna have to beat them eventually. Looks to me like they hit a wall, similar to when they played Philly in 2010. Took everything they had to get past Washington and Pittsburgh. This series does have those vibes, man. Because I didn't think that the Flyers were that good in 2010, and they just like wallpapered the Habs. The Habs were so tired by the end. Carolina's had it easy against Ottawa and Philly. Fundamentally weak teams. That's what I see as well. And I think that the 6-2 was a sign that the Carolina had like kind of not faced a lot of challenge and had a lot of time off and were a little rusty. But then a switch turned on and they were like, okay, we're back in it. And the Sens and Leafs are in our division. I mean, I think the Sens are pretty good. Yeah, the hockey panel says that Gallagher should be in there. Carolina had easy teams to get here. They did, but you know what? The Canadiens beat two very difficult teams to get here. Carolina is now facing, I think, the best team in the Atlantic Division, and they're looking really good. And all the credit in the world to Carolina, who just seem like a really, really well coached team. They play a really great system. Canadians have a lot to learn from a team like Carolina, I think. Even if they're like fundamentally pretty different teams, I do think there's a lot to learn here. I don't think Carolina is like a particularly like I don't think they're like a heavy team. They're not like Vegas. I think they have a lot of like smaller players and offensive players, and I think it just suits them fine, suits their system fine. Sens next season, fourth place Habs, third. Skill isn't enough. We need to get bigger and meaner. That's the winning formula. That's how the Panthers won, and other teams took note. You do need that element. You do need that element. Gadsick is good. Hrudi needs to retire. Yeah, Hrudi, I think, is especially the Habs series. It just doesn't seem like he's got a lot to contribute. Even the Sportsnet crew is advocating for Arbor to be in the lineup. Arbor and Gallagher, they both seem pretty adamant about. Even with Galley, we're down 3 tonight. Yeah, no. These are what do they call them? Deck chairs on the Titanic a little bit. Uh, Amazingly, it was Tampa favored by many broadcasters and betting sites because Tampa were the like veteran team coming in, so they got a lot of respect because it was like, well, they're Tampa. But I do think that at some point, Tony Marinaro said it best about the Tampa Montreal series. They said eventually Montreal is going to be better than Tampa. If it's not this year, it's probably next year. If it's not next year, maybe it's in 2 years. But it will happen. There will be a changing of the guard, and the Canadiens are a team on the up, and Tampa's a team on the down. And at some point, Montreal will pass them. And I think that happened this year. We didn't know it until the end, but I think they did. Carolina has 9 Canadiens on their roster. Yes, although they might get some USA chance on Friday. They are a team with many Canadian players, as every team is. We are in the Final Four, Darcy says. This series reminds me of last year's series versus Washington. One more step forward, or two more steps forward, because they won 2 rounds. But yes, this does have a lot of vibes of the Washington series, where the Canadiens have met a team that they don't really have an answer for. Montreal helps teams keep shots against down. No team passes around looking for a perfect pass like they do. That is like a part of their game that is, I think they're going to have to adapt a little bit. The Canadiens are one of the best passing teams in the league, and they have scored so many great goals this year. And during the regular season, it worked really well. I do think in the playoffs, they're going to need to like simplify that game a little bit. It's not going to work the same way. It doesn't mean they have to change the way they play. Doesn't mean that the personnel they have is wrong. I just think that there does need to be an adjustment of strategy in the playoffs. Like what's going to get them into the playoffs, and then what gets them through the playoffs, I think are going to be a little different. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. Funny how none of the analysts are saying that what the Habs need is more Caulfield. Well, they need Caulfield to score more, Timur. They need Caulfield to score. They don't need another Caulfield. They just need the Caulfield they have to score. Joseph says, I'm just going to enjoy the next 2-3 games and hope for the best. That said, they have done so well this season and fully deserve to be picking 29th overall. It's been so good for their development. They picked 29th? Oh, my God. And you know what? I saw a mock draft earlier today, and I saw them at 29th, and I'm like, what? They're 29th? I'm like, oh, yeah. They're 29th. Crazy. It ain't over yet, folks. My optimism has returned. Hey, Karen, there's still hockey to play. You never know in sports. Crazier things have happened. Do they have a 0.001% chance of coming back and winning the series? Absolutely. 0.00001%. But you know what? That's why we watch the games, because there's always a chance. Garbage goals like the ones Galley scores wins playoff games. And that's like, honestly, there was a game in the playoffs against Tampa where they basically just put him in and he got that one shift and he scored and then he didn't play for the rest of the game. And like, honestly, why didn't they do that against Carolina? They struggled so much in those opening shifts. I know it sucks to have like a guy glued to the bench the whole game, but like, honestly, have Gallagher, Deno, Anderson come out for that first shift, go hard, go to the net, crash, make it happen. And then if it doesn't work, like whatever, then you play the rest of the game. We will still go so much further. We aren't even close to as good as we will get. Yeah, this is a team without a second line center, without a proper right-handed defenseman for Hudson, with a bunch of like kind of cobbled together veterans in the bottom six. Like this is not the team that's gonna win. Like it's the bits of the team, like the elements are here. The foundation is here. Now they need to just like dress the team up a bit. You got the feeling that we had game one. Was that a good feeling? That was a good feeling. I've been watching this team for 60 years. I love this team. Exactly. Canadian players make up 40%, 30% of the NHL, so the number of Canadians not exceptional. No, exactly. There's Canadian players on every team. Pressure, shots, and garbage goals. Haven't seen 30 seconds of zone time once. No, it's really been just all Carolina tonight. Second period was a little nicer where they didn't give up any goals, but the penalties were ridiculous. We are not going to fail as many times as Carolina before we get over the hump. I mean, it could happen. I don't. Carolina's a well-built team, and it happened to them. So you never know. You got to be prepared for anything. All these new posters are attracted by your lack of beard and the backwards rally cap. I've attracted a new audience. It's funny, guys. We're like preparing the end of this live blog for the season. I mean, there's only who knows how many more we'll do, how many more games there'll be, and then they're putting the finishing touches on the website. We're gonna migrate back to the website probably before next season. It's funny. We're getting all these new people here. Maybe we do continue doing stuff on here. Are these new posters bots? I mean, they're speaking like real people, so I think they're real. I've been watching this team for. I mean, first of all, this person is Timur, by the way, just with a different name. They've worked very hard to turn love into a financial transaction. Really? Do you feel that way? Come on, man. They made the third round. They're playing. They're the top four teams in the league. They had a good season. I know they're like puttering out here at the end. They've run out of energy, but like, come on. They had a great season. Don't be. And they get paid a lot. They get paid. It's a big business, but it's not. The owner gets a lot. The players get a lot. There's a lot of money. It sucks that it's too expensive to go to a game. Absolutely, it's not the player's fault. How will you find me? I mean, I'm still gonna do stuff on YouTube, and I'll definitely do some type of for next season. I'll definitely do some type of like awareness campaign of where I can be. But I'm always gonna be at the MontrealGazette.com. You can always go to the MontrealGazette.com, and you will always find me there. I'll always be there. Where everything else that I do, I don't know. I'm gonna enjoy my. Anyways, we still got a few games left. Who knows what'll happen? But I'll enjoy my summer, and then I will give you guys all ample warning on what the future holds. But yeah, that's the sad part about the summer. I always miss you guys so much in the summer. And then I'm like, once September hits, I'm like so excited to come back. At the end of these seasons, I'm always like, oh, so long. So many nights where I didn't get to like spend with my wife and all that, and I'm like, you know, hard to work in the evenings, but once the September comes around, I'm like psyched. I'm like psyched to come back always. Will Brown says they had an amazing season. Everyone should be super proud of these kids. Whereas Timur says Marty is not a tactician. He's a different kind of coach, but he's pushed a lot of the right buttons this year. Again, like the team, he's kind of hit a wall now, but Pivvash says enough with Arbor. He's not Shea Weber. He's an enforcer. The Canes aren't pummeling us. They're beating us with speed and tenacity, neither of which are Arbor's game. That's why they didn't put him in to start. But I do still think that he's just better than Struble. And again, they won't put Jack Eye with Hudson, so I think it'll work. Timur hammered Molson in the cost. Ask him about hot dog prices. He posted that in the Gazette. I think he's well within his. He can diss Molson all he wants. That's fine. You're proud of the players. JJ Evans, 69.3. I'm proud of the players. Disappointed with Marty. I think Marty had a great year, honestly, as a coach. I think he had a great year. Again, some things that he probably wishes he could have changed, but he pushed a lot of right buttons, man. I think he really did. He got a lot out of a lot of these players. Now we speculate who they drafted 29th. I want them to draft that Lithuanian player. All right, guys. Canadian, the CBBL. I'm probably gonna go to a game. I'm gonna go to a game in Verdun. Won't cover him though. I like basketball, but I don't know enough about basketball to cover that. The season likely comes down to the next 20 minutes. It sure does. If the Canadiens can pull off a miracle, they might have a chance. But they got to score a goal. Before they can even talk about anything, they need to score a goal and they need to put a shot on net. How's is Gooley back? I guess he's back. Arbiter will play pretty good in the Tampa series. I'll give them credit. Dobson is a massive key to this team, and I don't think we ever really did see the best of Dobson in these playoffs. And that's also another thing to be confident about for next season, right? If Dobson's healthy in the playoffs. I do think a healthy Dobson brings a lot to the table. David with the all important question. I think Marty's doing a great job, but who would you replace him with? There's just no. I totally agree. Look, Marty's one of the has put himself in the conversation for one of the best coaches in the league. He just has. He just has. There's little things that he does that are maybe like a little aggravating, but trust me, every coach has their things. There's no perfect coach out there. John Cooper, who everyone thinks is like the most perfect coach in the world, got out coached by Marty in round one. So no, Hudson's going to keep going to the bitter end. That's for sure. That's the other thing. Marty's definitely more of a player's coach, and the players love him and they play for him. Pascal Vincent in a heartbeat. I think Pascal Vincent is should be an NHL coach, but they just got upset in the first round and lost. I know he lost his goalie, but they still had a good shot, I think, to beat Toronto. But that team also got kind of out muscled by Toronto, or yeah, the Marlies, um, and lost the series they probably should have won. And Pascal had a rough first going as coach, but obviously extenuating circumstances with the whole Babcock thing. Um, I think Pascal's should be an NHL coach, but I wouldn't say that Pascal Vincent is conclusively better than Marty St. Louis. He doesn't have the track record to suggest that he is, but I do think he should be a coach. And I wouldn't be shocked if the Habs lost him eventually. Pascal took them twice to the playoffs. No, Pascal Vincent is a really good coach, Rick. I'm telling you, I think the Leafs should hire Pascal Vincent. I think Pascal Vincent should be coach. I just don't think that he's like demonstrably better than Marty. You know what I mean? But I think he should be an NHL coach. I think Pascal Vincent is probably better than at least 10 coaches in the league right now. But I'm telling you, Marty's definitely one of the better coaches in the league. But he's different. It's different the way he does things. And it's not, he's not perfect for sure. Pascal would be a good assistant to Marty. I think so too, but I don't think he wants that job. I think Pascal will, it's Laval or a job somewhere else. Pascal would not do well with the Leafs. He does well with youth. I don't know. They just tried Mr. Veteran Coach and Craig Berube, and it was a disaster. I do feel like somebody like Vincent, who's worked with like a newer system, might be what they need. We need a new defensive system or coach. That's going to be an interesting thing this offseason because I believe the Canadiens are more likely to change the personnel to find defensemen who better suit the style that Marty wants. It's 3 a.m. in the UK. Thank you so much, Will Brown, for coming. We'll be back on Friday because no matter what happens, Canadians still play Friday. 7:30 on Friday, a little earlier. Well, whatever time that is for you. Does anyone do well with Matthews? No. No, I guess not. I guess not. And that was Matthews with two working knees. Now he has only one working knee. It'll be very interesting to see. EF says everyone is so critical. The Habs played 14 physically and emotionally tough games while the Canes cruised through 8. We're running out of gas and they are relatively fresh. Yeah, I get it. Look, I'll tell you what. When we are all together in September for the first preseason game, everybody's going to be like pretty stoked about how this season went down. But in the moment, they're getting their asses beat by Carolina. So it's easy to not be excited about it. 4 more minutes in the offensive zone for Carolina, by the way. So it's very easy, and like we see what the obvious problems are with the Habs, so it's kind of tricky. But yeah, but in the moment, I understand why we're all kind of like not feeling great. Enough excuses. What are the excuses? That they're gassed. That's not an excuse. They're just gassed and losing. That's like the reality of the situation. It's not an excuse. It's just they are gassed. The Leafs should trade the core and go full rebuild, team and culture. Never going to happen. Rogers just paid through the teeth for a new TV deal. They're going to try, as long as they have Matthews, they're going to try to make it work. They're not going to rebuild in Toronto. They're going to do the Marc Bergevin and zip it on the fly, which is why I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't hire Bergevin. But it's pretty clear that Chayka had some ins with the Domies, so and the Pellys, so he got in. But no, they're gonna try to do the tire change on the fly there. That core will bring back more than picks. They can get some good NHL players back. Well, I think that's why there's some smoke around the Matthew Nyes thing. Because when I heard that the Canadiens were maybe looking at Matthew Nyes, I was like, why would Toronto trade Matthew Nyes? But that's exactly why. They're gonna try to turn these like one guys into two guys, and instead of having a core of four guys, they're gonna try to have a core of like eight guys and try to like make that work. Which it's what the Habs did with Pacioretty, and it worked out pretty good for them. Dobish has kept it a close game. Yeah, it's this game could have gotten out of hand really early, and it has not happened. Perhaps singing Olay before the game wasn't terribly useful. Didn't work. The Canadiens have not had the good starts, and this tonight was no different. Dobish is our MVP, no doubt about it. Sid Sixera is pointing out the Leafs are either going to watch Matthews walk like Marner or pay him 18 mil in 2 seasons, 19 mil. I think they're going to pay Matthews for that reason. I don't think they can afford to let somebody else walk. At least break the shootout. I know. I just want to see a goal. Just get a goal tonight, please. Last 3 games, I felt like Groundhog Day. Nyes is the guy they should keep. Yeah, but that's the conundrum. Because he's the guy that you can get the most for, and they probably are looking like, well, if Matthews doesn't stick around, Nyes is like not a guy that's like you can build your team around. But you can get young players for Nyes, and maybe one of those guys you can build around. You see how it works? So that's the thing about it. The Canadiens had the kind of like not quite on the level of Nyes, but the Canadiens had that same thing with Lehkonen, right? Like Lehkonen and Toffoli. It was like, oh, they're like high performers on the team. Yes, but because of how things were moving contractually, it was like they're the guys that'll get you something back. So you got to move them. Being outshot this badly is the main reason they're losing. I know we have to trade for like Evan Rodriguez. Whenever I watch Evan Rodriguez, he's got a long stick and he's just shooting from everywhere. I love it. I love that player. That's who they need. Rumors of Gallagher to Vancouver makes a ton of sense. It gives a chance for everyone to save face. Canadians get out of a contract that they would rather spend on something else. Vancouver gets a home body that they can tell their fans, hey, look, we got like one of Vancouver's very own, and it gives Gallagher a chance to make that last actually play a little bit. I don't deny that it's possible, but it'll be tough. But they honestly would probably take Gallagher for. They would probably just like you could strap a third rounder and they'll probably do it. I can't imagine the cap is an issue for them. Can't win a puck battle, needs size and meanness. Yeah, at the end of the day, they kind of just needed like a different kind of player. Somebody to just kind of like change the mix up a little bit. Somebody's going to go in the corner and hit somebody hard. Somebody's going to go and try to cause a turnover. They just have too many guys who, when they're not playing well, kind of like retract in the same way. I'm pretty sure the Habs would be up 17-3 if Callie and Jack are playing. That's funny. Are we still at 15 shots on goal? Uh yes. Oh my god, they're outshot 9-0 in this period. Crazy. We need 2 more Andersons. Not only do they need 2 more Andersons, they need to like plan for a potential future without Anderson. He's a free agent at the end of next season. While I do think that there's a good chance he could be back, we don't know for sure. Win probability 1%. So you're saying there's a chance. The sad part is if Vegas was in the East, they wouldn't have made the playoffs and they're in the finals. That is pretty funny. They were awful in the regular season, but I don't think anybody's shocked that they turned it on in the playoffs. Carrier's taking a beating tonight. Carrier is definitely an interesting defenseman where I do feel like we see him get exposed. He has like really good games, and then like against certain opponents, you do see where he gets like exposed for being such a hard nosed player, but with not a lot of size. Yeah, there is like a light, the lightest Olay tonight, like barely an Olay. Pathetic offensive performance. They played 3 games exactly the same way. Was it all Torts? I don't think so. I think they got healthy. I think they got healthy at the right time, and Torts helped a little bit for sure. But I think also that team was just like too good to not make the playoffs. You know what I mean? Gooley has been absolutely. Dobish is awesome. Rabinoff says, I don't mind this end to the season. Habs have outperformed all expectations. Guys, it's May 27th, and the Canadiens are still playing hockey. For all we know, the Habs could win game 5, and I think we could be playing a game in June. In June, can you believe that? June hockey. Just feeling the pain for Gooley. Oh, he's had it rough. He's had it rough. If Vegas was in the East, they probably would have played hard enough just to make the playoffs. Managing the too long regular season is just about winning. 4 rounds of playoffs makes that obvious. That is true. I just think that they're when I looked at the Pacific Division and I saw them kind of like milling about with Anaheim and Edmonton, I was kind of like, come on, Vegas, you're better than that. But I do think that they're good enough that they're like they can do just enough to make the playoffs and then go from there. I feel like the Capitals are a bit like that. They were for a while. We have to get used to this. Buffalo's going to be a handful for the foreseeable future. Hopefully, some team in the Metro will take a toll on the Canes. Who though? The Devils. The Devils like were supposed to be that team, and the Devils have really disappointed. But I think the Devils are going to make some crazy moves this offseason. To me, like all the guys who are on the table, like Brady Kachuk, Rob Thomas, like that. To me, all those guys are on the table for the Devils. The Devils are not going to go into next season with the same team. They're going to do something crazy. We were down 3-1 to the Leafs. I mean, look, anything's possible. Our division will still be the best in the NHL. Yeah. I think the Canadiens are well primed to be really good in the division for years to come, but yes, it won't be easy. The Leafs were better than the Canes. I don't think so. I don't think so. These Canes are I think they can beat Vegas absolutely. Carolina's blocked out our offensive chances. Yeah, Canadians have done very little tonight on offense. There's so much to feel optimistic about with Reinbacher and Hage coming soon. I hope so. I hope those guys. I mean, I don't think those guys are at the level of like the Demidovs of the world, but I do think that they could be very good players, and I do hope that that happens. Oh my, ooh la la, my setup is Why are my batteries so low? Can that help? No. Uh, no, that doesn't work. Let's not do that. It was indeed a fun playoff run while it lasted. 9:31 away. I feel like I should try to plug a charger in here. I feel like I'm playing with fire here. Do I even have a plug available? No, I don't have a plug available. Shoot. Oh, I'm not using this charger. There you go. There you go. There you go. Okay, now I'm all charged up. The Ballard curse. 8:30 to go. I'm a smidge behind. I'm at 8:40. Oh, Slavkovsky, not New York finally got in and still passed. I know, the one guy that we thought was just going to shoot it. Shoot! You. Evans, why did you shoot? Please shoot the puck on the net. $12-0 shots in the period. What an absolute, like, disappointment. Just no other way to describe it. I'm not saying they need to come out here and win to be a success. You know what I mean? But like another game of them just not shooting the puck, like holding onto the puck, trying to make a pass. You're in the slot. You're in the slot. Just shoot the puck. Like, come on. It's getting to the point where it's like fundamentally, like, why are you guys constantly holding up and not shooting the puck? Wonder if the coach really thinks this system works. I mean, he's been pretty like resolute about it, and I think they're gradually bringing in the personnel to sort of make it happen. But like, I don't think that the system. I don't think you're doing the system a disservice if you just shoot the puck a little more, right? Like it'd be a weird system where it's like, well, part of the system is that you never shoot. That doesn't seem right. Who else spends half the game screaming "shoot the puck"? I think we all are. They refuse to shoot the puck. It's like insane. I think we can all agree that all that matters is that Kotkaniemi isn't playing. No, I know. Does he want to come back to the Habs? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We touch the puck, and there are two guys on us. Yeah, yeah. No, I totally get that. Like, they're not making it easy to shoot the puck, but they like. I think they still just have to. They just have to try because like we do see them like double clutching a lot, and then not shooting. Juggling announced now, but it won't work. No, they did that in the second period, and it hasn't worked. Lack of shots I haven't recalled since watching hockey in 59. Whatever the reason, I don't recall game after game, no shots on goal. It's an issue. Big issue. Bad time for the team to have a slump. Regular season is one thing, but the conference finals, well, in the conference finals, you're playing the best of the best all the time. So, yes, not surprising that they would hit a slump at a time like this because you're not playing, myriad teams that are up and down. Good night, Karen. Thank you for joining. Kotkaniemi might win a Stanley Cup ring. That's fucking funny. You're right. He could. Even if he doesn't play a single playoff game, I guess so. I feel bad for the fans that paid big time money for this outcome. Kotkaniemi's the water boy. That's funny. No confidence to forecheck either. Nope. They're just chasing. Marty should be working the bench, not looking at his iPad. Yeah, I think at this point, a rousing speech or, I don't know, slapping a guy upside the head is probably what it'll take at this point. They already have all the strategy, like paralysis of analysis. Right now, their big problem is paralysis of analysis, right? They're just like not confident enough to forecheck, not confident enough to shoot. One goal by Habs forward since game one. The only issue to be addressed is that Carolina is perma-parking 3 players at their blue line and somehow calling that hockey. Hey, if it worked for Jacques Lemaire, it works for the Carolina Hurricanes. Say what you want about Kotkaniemi. That fight of Hag defending his teammate put him in my good books. I liked Kotkaniemi a lot before he left. I mean, I don't dislike him after, but I thought Kotkaniemi was going to be a perfectly fine player for the Habs. Like, he obviously wasn't going to be a first line center, and he was the 3rd overall pick. He wasn't going to be that good, but I thought he could have been. There's no reason Kotkaniemi shouldn't have been a solid 3rd line center in this league. He has all the skills and size and nastiness and acumen to be a good 3rd line center in the NHL, but he took the money, didn't develop well. And now he's like on the outs on a team where he's been on the outs for quite some time, and it didn't work out for him. But no, I thought he was a perfectly fine player for the Habs, and would have been happy. If he had stayed. Team owners will protest, and new rules will come into force after the sham of a playoffs where Colorado and Montreal get ousted with ease. I don't think so. Also, I think Colorado got ousted because Makar got hurt, and they didn't really have the depth to make up for that. Kotkaniemi is definitely not the water boy. Colorado was ousted with ease. They were ousted with ease. Are we saying they weren't ousted with ease? They were ousted with ease. The Domies? Like Ty Domi? And Max Domi? Steve says, well, I'll tell you this. We're going back to Raleigh, and we're gonna leave there with a victory and come back home. Game 7, overtime, New Hook. Wah! Let's do it. It's not over yet, baby. I love it. Attaboy, Steve. That's what we're doing. Marty St. Louis would have been much better for Kotkaniemi's career. I think so. I think he would have been. A sweep is ousted. They were ousted. Are we saying they weren't ousted? They were ousted. But I think they were ousted because Makar got hurt. And they didn't have an answer for that. Wow. That is not that we. Yeah, they don't even get to pull the goalie for funsies. Exactly, weekday. They just. We're gonna let's run out the clock here. I wonder what the Carolina's gonna do, if they're gonna try to be nasty about it or not. This team has given up. Body language, the penalties. Did they lose? They have not lost yet. It is 3-0 Carolina with under 5 to play. The Canadiens are currently killing a penalty, but it is still 3-0 Carolina, and there's still a little bit of time left on the clock. I'm disgusted on so many levels, Karen says. I felt a sense of dread all day. See, I had good vibes all day. And goes to show you why I don't bet on sports. Habitations use an acronym that I don't know. It's funny how Colorado got swept because their star D-man got taken out of their team, and we get beat when Carolina take Hudson out of the game. I mean, I don't think that's why the Canadiens lost in the same way, but Hudson definitely did get beaten raw in this playoff. Couldn't watch past the first period. Yes, it's not Andre or Andrea. Andrea or Andrea. Was not a good game. Was not a good game. Oh, your keys are sticky and clicky. Mine are also sticky and clicky. I understand. If it's a curse to touch the conference trophy and both Carolina and Vegas don't touch it, what's the point then? Well, because Carolina hasn't won it yet. Dag nabbit. It's only 2-1 in the series. About to be 3-1. But there's still time. Andrea was born and raised in Montreal. Met quite a few players in the 80s. They could have used some of that 80s. Watching Chris Knuckles Nyland and Claude Lemieux carrying out the torch, man. They could have used some players like that on this team. This team needs a little bit of that. A little bit of that jam. It's a Razer keyboard. I don't want to buy a new one because I'm cheap. Don't. Go ahead with the stickies. It's all good. It's like a Motorola Razer. Shots are 17-0 this period. What an absolute... Are they seriously going to not have a shot this period? Dobish has a halak of a game. I hope those guys get to go out for dinner. Wouldn't that be nice? 88-40 in shot attempts. Wow. Wowie zowie. The announcers on Sportsnet are gleeful. Oh, they're ready for these finals. There you go. Suzuki with, I guess Mark Talifer is left for the night, but a Chester from Nick Suzuki, he would call it. Yeah. Good night, David. Still at least one more on Friday. Hope to see you then. They have that jam. They have chosen to not use that jam. One shot in 34 minutes of play in game 3. And we'll score it on ourselves. They sure did. Well, yeah, yeah, with the empty net. The net is currently empty. Did Doc even play this period? I'm not. He didn't play a lot tonight. I don't think so. I don't think Doc played. For nothing. Yeah, I don't think Boys will be glad this is over. This is a bring on game 5. It was a great run with 2 upsets. The seats are emptying. Yeah, they named and shamed us tonight. They're done for the season, but they had a great run considering the lack of offense. Who thinks Florian is NHL ready? I don't think so. I don't think he is. Sorry to say. Friday, they'll put us out of our misery. Responsibility is overrated. All the red jerseys make it hard to distinguish the empty seats. Oh, there's a lot of empty seats now. Man, if I paid that much for tickets, I'd still go. But yeah, to answer your question about Doc, I don't think we saw Veleno, Doc, or Texier this period. I don't think any of them played. Use Struble to send a message. I don't think he's going to do much. Bonsoir to you as well, JW Timur, whoever you may or may not be. Yeah. Anyways, we're over here. This final score. Let me just type it up, and then I will give you my little spiel for the next game. Dobish had to make a big save there with 16 seconds left. Anyways, we'll probably. I mean, there's a lot of you here, so I don't know. Maybe I won't end it right away, but at least go down swinging. Boys gave up, bailed out by Dobish all playoffs, and when the going got tough, they folded. Gooley's trying to take some swings. He had a brutal night in terms of just getting hit hard. Dobish playing till the end. I mean, that's really what I want to see from the Habs in Game 5. I just want to see them not play this game again. 3 games of just like not shooting. It's happened a lot in the playoffs, and it's just they've been completely stifled by the Hurricanes here, and I just want to see them doing what they can to try to change it. Just try to reverse their fortunes a little bit. Go down to the end. They did not play well tonight. Right now, Jankowski is showboating, and they have every right to, really. Oh, thank you, Pim. Thank you for joining. It's been amazing, and we got at least one more game, but I want to see the Canadiens get 2 more games. They can win a game. They can win a game or 2 against Carolina. They've hit a wall. They're not going to win the series. But they can like power through here and at least, as you said, I think just get like a little bit of pride here. End the season with a little bit of pride. Tonight did not go as planned. Probably should have gone to bed. I'll see you on Friday. Maybe need a party tonight and forget this crappy game. I think I need a party tonight. I think I need to go. I'm okay, really fine, Karen. I feel for you right now. Don't kick Biggie in frustration. Give him a hug. No, I'm going to give him a big hug. He's a good boy. Disgraceful showing. One more crack at it to stay alive. It's, man, they are all just hangdogged on the bench right now. It's really... They're really sad. That's that. 4-0. Everybody, thank y'all for joining. So let me tell you what we've got planned for you. So in about an hour, you're going to get the Hidden Game with Herb Zukowski. Tomorrow morning, you're going to get, this is all on the MontrealGazette.com, as you guys know. Tomorrow morning, you're going to get About Last Night. I'm going to recap the game. You can go right now on the website and read the live blog replay, which I'm just going to update after this. And then after that, you're going to get Stu Cowan's definitely going to write something. And then we're going to record Hockey Inside Out tomorrow with Rick Green and Brendan Kelly's going to join us. And we're going to talk about whether the Canadiens still have a shot in this. And how do they do it? How do they win one more game and keep their season going? You got to put your pants on one leg at a time. You guys ever hear that? You got to put your pants on one leg at a time. They got to win one game. They got to score a goal. They got to get a shot on net. Get a freaking shot on net. then score a goal, win a game, and then maybe they can win on Friday, and maybe they can come back to Montreal and get one more chance here. But tonight was not a good one. They did not play well. They have now lost 3 games in almost identical fashion, and this time isn't. Can't wait to see the next hat. Is it time to go hatless? I might get a haircut actually, so maybe I will go get a haircut on Friday, and I'll come with a fresh cut because right now my hair is awful. Um, Maybe that's what it takes. Did someone did just say go Leafs, go Pip? The Leafs. So Leafs fans have taken over. So maybe that's time for me to say goodnight. Uh, Thank you guys so much for joining. Uh, MontrealGazette.com. We're gonna have all the coverage. We're gonna have new episodes of Hockey and Inside Out starting late tomorrow. We're gonna prep you guys for Friday because we're not giving up, and neither should you. I know the odds are very much against the Habs, but you know what? You never know what's gonna happen. Crazier things have happened. Maybe they'll win a game. All right. Have a good night.